Good morning, participants. Good morning, participants. It's 11 a.m. and today is the day we are going to organize this webinar. We have 51 participants who have joined so far. We're expecting more to join in another 2-3 minutes. So we shall wait for them and then carry it forward. Please bear with us until other participants join us in this webinar. The numbers are counting every second. On reading the list of participants, I can see a few known faces. I can see Nitin Rajore sir is there. I can see Bapat sir, Vidyut Bapat sir is here. I can see Malu sir is here. I also see Dhruv Agarwal ji from Autopress. I can see Mr. Arun Jindal joining us. Are you all able to hear me? If you can, please type Y in the chat box. That's great. Please keep responding. Thank you. Thank you, Gopalji. Thank you, Dada Sahib. Thank you, Gandhi sir. Rohit ji, Rohit Gandhi sir. So we have almost 60 people joining us right now. We are expecting more to join every minute, every second as we go ahead. So without wasting much time, it's 11:04 right now. I won't take much time now and start with the program. Start with the webinar today, the topic of which is post-COVID, how to gear up factories, businesses, sites, offices, and carry on with our professional lives. Thank you, Pankaj-ji. Thank you. I can hear you. Pankaj-ji from Mascot Robotics. So my name is Piyush Pandey, and I'm a senior lean practitioner with Vedzen. I've been working with Vedzen for last 10 years now, and in various roles. I'll be moderating today's webinar. We'll be having more than 100 participants today. So we are going to have a wonderful webinar today on the much awaited topic. Now, there is something common in all of us. We all of us want to manage this COVID-19 crisis, that too very efficiently and very effectively. Today, in the next 50 minutes or 60 minutes or so, we will be sharing with you 7 to 10 management strategies that will help you manage this crisis and help you gear up for running your business in a better way. It is such a lovely morning, and so far in the last 50 days, we have successfully managed to manage this lockdown, in fact, and we have been able to flatten the curve. We have been able to reduce the growth of new cases. We have been able to contain the spread, and we have also been able to, some of us must have been able to improve our own health. But before we jump onto our topic, let me give you a brief of our agenda today. The agenda of today's session would be like this: 5 minutes for introduction, 50 minutes focused on understanding how to manage our businesses, and 5 minutes or more on the question answers. Some guidelines for you participants: be comfortable in your seats, relax, be at ease, keep a pen and paper handy so that you can jot down the notes from the webinar. You can use this question box, the chat box, to put in your queries and your response. These questions will be answered at the end of the session. Now, this program is about giving you a framework. It's an awareness session. It's not a training session or a workshop. But lastly, you will get a recording of this session within 24 hours of completing this session. So now, beginning with the introduction of our organization. In the year 2000, Mr. Yogesh Waghani, our chairman and managing director, started this organization as Vedzen Institute. His vision was to create a mini Japan in the Nagar Road industrial belt of Pune. His vision has now become the company vision, to be the global missionaries for improving top line and bottom lines by bringing prosperity to all stakeholders, and by involving all employees in the organization towards making them a world-class organization. Vedzen is now a well-known brand in the field of change management and creating operational excellence. We have helped many industries across sectors, making them fit, fast, flexible through total employee involvement. We have worked with more than 10 sectors and 50 plus organizations by creating 5,000 plus lean leaders for operational excellence. We are into providing consulting for lean manufacturing, for lean construction, lean services, lean retail, by making them a lean organization. As I said, we have worked with myriad of companies across sectors and industries, from Tanishq in retail to Gestamp as a provider to Volkswagen, to JCB, and to pharmaceutical companies, to construction companies like Kumar Properties. Many of them we have helped. And the results of these engagement has been improvement in productivity, reduction in throughput, improvement in quality, reduction in cost, making them flexible, and building a high performance culture in the organization. We have got testimonials too. You can visit our website, www.vedzen.com, for more details, to read upon the testimonials, to read upon what our clients have to say for us. We have also published books on Kaizen. We have published training material. We have produced training films on Pokayoke, on topics like 8 waste, on 5S, on one piece flow, along with publishing some posters. And we also release a monthly, quarterly newsletter for our readers. The result of this in the last 2 decades has been very fruitful. Last year itself, we got awarded by the ET MSME Excellence Awards, where they felicitated us in the education and training category, especially in the micro enterprise category, with a certificate of recognition of our consulting services. Now, the speaker of today's session is Anup Gandhi sir. He's a senior principal practitioner with us. We fondly call him Gandhi sir. He's a very seasoned professional and comes with 30 years of vast experience. He's a mechanical engineer with master's in management science. He has been blessed with a hands-on coaching from Japanese sensei Takao Kashihara-san, Masaki Imai-san, Indian gurus such as Sina Narasimhan on various manufacturing excellence programs. He has wide exposure to various industries spread over Japan, US, Germany, Denmark, China, Italy, and Indonesia. Prior to joining Vedzen, working with Vedzen, Gandhi sir headed Thermax's Pune division as the manufacturing head, where he managed heavy engineering factory with a setup of 1200 plus workforce. Interestingly, he also joined Thermax as a trainee and rose to heading the organization eventually with his leadership capabilities. While handling Vedzen's clients, he has successfully transformed many loss-making units into profitable ones, having worked with clients like Asian Paints, brands like SS, Sleek, brands like Autopress, DN Jewels in jewelry manufacturing, JCB, Sahani Kirkwood, and many more, to name a few here. For the last 6 years, he has worked for more than 10 different clients from textiles, process industries, engineering industry as a consultant and coach for streamlining of their operations, competence building of their employees, and solving their challenging problems. He has implemented many improvement projects in the area of lead time reduction, cycle time reduction, inventory reduction, process waste reduction, rejections reduction, customer satisfaction, along with employee satisfaction, and implementing performance management systems. He has conducted many Gemba Kaizen workshops in the areas of lean management, value stream mapping, structured problem solving being his favorite area of work. He loves solving problems, implementing pull systems, and the plethora of lean tools that he's very well versed with. He's a mentor and guide to many successful individuals in their professional and personal life. He's now a practicing lean Kaizen consultant and a freelance coach for performance improvement in small and medium-sized companies. So without much further ado, I would like to invite Gandhi sir to take on from here and share the present the session on the much awaited topic, which is how to gear up factories, businesses in a post-COVID environment. Thank you very much. Over to you, Gandhi sir. Signing out, Piyush.
Thank you, Piyush. I welcome you all. I am reminded of an incident. It was 3 weeks back. Almost, I think it was 3rd of May, when we were about to extend the lockdown 3. Early in the morning, I got a call. He was a known person to me. He's an industrialist having 2 factories. He rang and asked me, "Sir, I need your advice." I said, "Yes, tell me, sir." And he started non-stop 5 minutes what problems they are facing. At the end, he said, "Sir, from tomorrow, I want to start my factory. I cannot sit idle like this. 40 days are over, and sir, we want your advice. He looked very panicked to me, and so I asked, sir, will you cool down? And the moment I said this, he interrupted. He said, sir, this is not the time. I want your advice. So I said, sir, like this, how can I advise? So cool down. I will come back to you. Let's chat in the afternoon. He said, sir, no. Listen to me very carefully. I need two things from you. Number one, please don't advise how not to start the factory. You are not there for that. There are many people who are coming to me and advising me this. So please don't try this. I have come to you because I know you will be able to advise me how to start factory, number one, and not only starting, how to run it smoothly. I was shaken. I never prepared for it. I asked him, sir, definitely. I will definitely support you because this is my job. But give me some time. I'll prepare and I'll come back. He says, prepare? Didn't you mean you are not prepared? 40 days, sir, at home. I tell you, I don't know how the call ended. But one thing was sure. I rushed to my room, took my diary, and started preparing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This was the incident which gave birth to this today's webinar. In next 40 minutes, we are going to see what preparation he was looking for, you are looking for, we all are looking for. You might have started factories. Some of you might have. So let's see how we can spend this 40 minutes, every minute learning. Very simple. I want you to leave this webinar after 40 minutes with a confidence, with a challenge that we will face. We will come out successfully. So let me share some screen to you and then we'll start. Are you able to see the screen? In next 40 minutes, we will learn 3 mantras. We shall use only 2 templates. We need these 2 templates and see how we get prepared for. This will surely help to find answers for this situation. Before we move further, let's see whether we are able to interact. We may not be able to conduct question and answer session in between the session. We will take your questions at the end of the session. You can use question and answer box, put your questions. Our moderator Piyush will handle that session at the end. Right now we will use our chat box to interact. I will put up some questions and expect you to answer so that I know where we stand. So let's make this session interactive. I'll put up the first question. If your factory has already started functioning, then can you please type yes, Y, otherwise type N. Can we see the answers?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Almost 90-95% of people have said yes. Only two,
very
three
good.
people have said no.
I'm able to see. Yes. Good, good. So if you have already started the factory, then can you tell me what is the capacity, percentage capacity your factory is running currently? Type 0 or 10 or 20, 30, 100, whatever is applicable. Yes. Yeah, many people are responding. Okay. And so there is a chance. Still, I see that we can make use of this session, that if you have started, then how do we get geared up? Okay, so we move further to know three mantras. These three mantras are don't press panic button. Number one, fill up information checklist. And the third is make and follow 3 do's and 3 don't checklist. We will see every point, every mantra in detail now. The first one, don't press panic button. Why am I saying this? Understand that when government declared the lockdown, it was an emergency case. And in that case, they didn't get time, they didn't have knowledge. We learned from other countries, and they also learned only 1 month, they had only an experience of only 1 month. Now, after the lockdown as an emergency, we might have thought that government could have done some preparation, but that is an afterthought. Now it is our turn. After having almost 60 days of close down, having so much of time with us, now government is allowing us to start the business. Can we do this business now in a planned manner, or it is an emergency for us? Is it emergency or it is a necessity? I fully understand that we must open our factories. It is necessary, but it is not to be opened as an emergency. Can we not wait for another 3 days? If we have waited for 45 days, we can wait for another 3 days and learn and prepare. Can it be done in 3 days? Yes, I promise you it can be done in 3 days. Type P, if you say it is possible to wait and prepare. Otherwise, type N. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of responses. Yeah. So it is possible to wait for 3 days, prepare. Very soon we are going to come back how we are going to prepare. Let me tell you, in the last We will come to the second mantra, fill up information checklist. Now you will be wondering, what is this checklist? Checklist is a simple tool which is used. I know in my earlier days, our workmen in the quality circle used to use this tool called checklist. My request to you all, don't undermine the power of simple tool called checklist. If you are smart enough to design proper checklist, then I guarantee you that this tool can be of great help to build your confidence, build your preparation, make you towards almost success. Now, how to build this smart checklist, we will learn today. Have you heard of CPOC? CPOC as a model? If yes, type Y. I'm sure you must be already aware of CPOC. Let us see, what is CPOC? S stands for suppliers, I inputs, P stands for processes, O stands for outputs, and C for customer. This is all our business is. When we run a factory, what we do? We actually manage CPOC. We need to manage our suppliers, vendors, subcontractors. They give us the input. That input is coming as a raw material, as a component, as an instrument, as a subcontracting, some service, all that input we process. What do we do in process? We basically use our technology, plant, machinery, fixtures, molds, consumables, people, their skill, etc. So all that put together, we process input and convert them into an output, usable output required by customer. And so that usable output as required by customer goes to customer, and we get return reward. We get money for that, we get more orders. So the whole model, if we are saying that how to get geared up for a factory running, that means how to get geared up for CPOC. So let's see how can we make use of this while designing our checklist. I have chosen 8 elements from CPOC: physical assets, product and processes, customer orders and delivery schedules, supply chain, employees, migrant labor, cash flow, market demand. Now, all these factors are important today. You can add 1 or 2 more depending upon your situation. But these 8 to 10 elements, if we are focusing on in our checklist, then there is all the possibility that we will be prepared for almost 90% of the challenges. Now, what to prepare for? You need to learn 3 questions. You have to ask these right questions. Whenever we want right information will come if you have asked rightfully question. The first question, what remained unchanged in the last 60 days? The second question, what are the changes? And in the last 60 days, if at all something has changed, then what are those changes? And the third question, what is likely to change further? Possibly, we are not yet geared up for knowing what is going to happen in the future. Possible, but at least for the first 2 things, which can be prepared, which is known, we have to just assimilate the information from the concerned people. So what is needed now is starting the preparation with these questions on those decided 8 or 10 elements. Let's look at a simple template where we can mention the element. We can write what is the degree of change, whether no change, minor, medium, major. And if at all it has changed, then what are those changes and what are those actions? If we have to mitigate those situations which has come because of those changes. We will take examples now. Let's see the first one. Physical asset building. It could be building, it could be machines, it could be material. We can make separate as required. What is the degree of change? Possibly no change or minor or medium. In this case, in most probability, there is no physical change. Only what is needed is cleaning, because we have not been working for 40-45 days. So cleaning is required. Once the major cleaning is done, it will come to a normal situation. Major one more requirement has come, daily sanitization. Daily sanitization was not being done so far, not so much, excepting some few cases of, mosquitoes and some sanitization being done for that and etc. But now it is a regular phenomena and we have to prepare for it. I'll give just an example. I was told that in Mumbai, this service, if you have to take from outsider, they are charging 1.5 rupee per square feet. And we don't know, we are not sure whether they will do it rightly. Now question is, if you have an office and a factory of suppose, 7,000 or 8,000 square feet, a small factory, still it will cost you 10,000 rupees a day. Now 10,000 rupees a day is a big issue. How can you manage? What it means is, we have to learn sanitization. Is that a big technology? It is not a rocket science, but we have not been prepared for it. We have not understood it. If we learn and then make an infrastructure for that, it's all possible. Who will do it? We'll have to define the roles. We'll have to assign the responsibilities. And if we are prepared for it, if we do it, it is all possible. I have got 2-3 examples where companies have decided who will do this, how it can be done, how the distribution of responsibilities will be there. So like this, we can go on for 8 elements for preparing this information checklist. This is the second example. Product processes. We can prepare the same thing, minor change, no immediate change unless the regular operators are changed. So look for where the operators are going to get changed. They may be your regular operator, but not doing the same process. So possibly they will have to be trained, they will have to practice, and you will have to certify them. Social distancing is another new thing which has come. On assembly line particularly, or a process where there is a crew of 3 people, 4 people, together they have to work. Now this is the challenge. You will have to think about it. So you have to identify. It's not that everywhere this is a challenge. In the whole factory, you may have 2-3 locations where such a challenge is there. So you have to advance plan, make some arrangement, involve some people, and you will be able to get some process redesign, some process control, and you will be able to solve this issue. Similarly, customer orders and delivery schedules. Major impact. No, it is affecting not only delivery schedules, it will be having an impact of order quantities being changed, some cancellations, some holds, etc. If you are not prepared, immediately if you are not able to respond to customer, if you are not able to correct, then you will be in trouble. So we have to reconfirm with the customer. You have to get some crash deliveries made for customer, because this could be an opportunity in this situation. When the market is down and customer is looking for some help for crash deliveries of certain components, we have to keep all aside and focus and support the customer. If you support customer in this time, there is all the possibility that customer will come to your help. Changes in setups you will have to do, changes in planning and routings you will have to do. So find out where what is applicable to you and make a note and put into an action box. Supply chain. You will have problems with the domestic suppliers, imported items, inbound and outbound logistic, everywhere. Because everybody is affected, not only as a country, as a global. And so we have to now review item by item, vendor by vendor, region by region, and find out the status. Your latest information is more important. No historical references will help you now. There could be changes in the duties. You may have to consider the costing. Customer is not going to come and help you in at this point of time, compensating something. Your transport cost is going to go haywire because your quantities are, getting reduced. The way you are going to handle the logistic is going to be very, very important. Employees, physical employees are same, but they are coming with a different sentiments. You have to learn to handle the sentiments. You have to learn how do we take our decisions, how can we communicate with them, how can we involve them. You know for sure that you are not going to run the factory with 100% capacity. You will have some partial numbers. There are certain guidelines given by government. So as per that, if you are planning, you may have to add shifts so that the people can be distributed, social distancing can be maintained. Now all this, when you are planning, you need their cooperation, you need their participation. You may have to take some discretionary decisions. As an example, suppose you have some few people who have got already some disease like diabetes. Now why to take a risk of calling them? Why not tell them? Why not come up with a proposal that they can stay at home? Okay, they need not worry. We will call them. Okay, the moment the protection is can be taken care. So we have to handle employees. Same thing for migrant workers and contractors. Some of the organizations who are using more of this will have a big impact, major impact, because their availability is in question mark. It's uncertain. Impact on productivity is going to be there. Impact on cost is going to be there. You may have to find out alternative processes or automation. It's not easy, but we will have to face this. Some companies I know, they have to put special efforts for getting these people back. They send some people to UP and Bihar to get those people back. They have to pay advance, get them, but it is going to be beneficial for a company as a whole. Same thing for cash flow. Except for few cash rich companies, all are going to find less of inflow and more demands for outflow. No easy solutions. So what you need to do is review your credit terms, control the spending, and diplomatic tight pull on the receivables. I am aware of how such an important activity get missed. We keep our relations. Today, business cannot run without cash. So inflow has to be managed without fail. Market demand. GDP growth is going to be down. We cannot be sitting tight with the old targets and goals. It is going to be definitely varying impact on different companies, depending upon their product, depending upon their industry. And one more important, the change is going to be every week. Every new week is not going to be the same as earlier week. So we have to keep a track. We have to understand and then take decisions. No easy solution, but trends, if monitored, you will be able to see the next path. You have to have speedy, flexible decision making and regular reviewing of your policies. Don't sit tight that we are not in this business, we are not in that business, we don't deal with this, we don't deal with that. No, be open. Today, you have to look for new opportunities. So we have seen different elements. What is the degree of change? what are the changes and what actions. These are all example indicative to tell you, you are more wiser than me. Your people are more wiser for your own situation. They will be able to fill in this information more rigorously, and a very effective action plan can come. Easy to communicate to those people, those who are going to act on it. This checklist template can be modified. Further columns can be added. Like for example, after the actions, we can add one more column saying who will be responsible to act on this. And so we can add another column by what time he should be completing this. So this template can be made for using for day-to-day operation. Now just imagine, this is not going to help only for the current scenario, but also it can be a regular feature. We can take this as a regular tool to control and monitor all our elements. We move further. So we have seen how to fill in the checklist. We have seen what type of template that we can make. Okay. So now we can move to the next question that I have is, when should we prepare this information? Before opening the factory or only after opening the factory? If you agree that it can be done before opening the factory, type B. If you agree that it can be done before, yeah, so many responses coming in. Good, good. Thank you for responding. So we can prepare. Now we go to the next tool, next mantra, and that is make and follow 3 do's and 3 don'ts. Now just look at this do's and don'ts. This is not a big SOP to be made. There is no need. Nobody is going to read now. So what we need to do is a prompt visual checklist. What is that? What to do? Okay, main important 3 do's and 3 don'ts for every situation. Now I have seen many manuals coming in. Mahindra and Mahindra prepared for every business line a very beautiful visual manuals. They have prepared, and I could get a chance to read one. Also, there are manuals getting printed for hygiene controls. I could get hold of one manual published by Apollo Hospital. There are so many things coming in. Government is also giving you the guidelines. From there you can pick up. You can visit nearby big companies, and you will be able to get lots of information on this, how to make this do's and don'ts. What are those do's and don'ts? How to prepare? Let us see some examples. There are 7 controls to run a factory. One is hygiene control, demand control, supply chain control, production control, quality control, people control, and last, flow control. Now, this control word needs to be understood properly. Control does not mean cut down. Control does not mean reduce. This control means you are in charge of the situation. You have a remote control. What it means is you have a control in your hand, and you can change the things as you wish. When you have an accelerator control in your hand, that means you can race or you can slow down. That means situation is under your control. Now see, all these 7 controls, how do we implement through these 3 do's and 3 don'ts? Hygiene control, safety of your people, their family and society is of most important. So comply all legal guidelines. Legal guidelines are available. Check one by one and do that. What is don't? Don't take shortcut. Don't start operation unless hygiene compliance are made. legal compliances are made. No shortcut here. So this is don't. Like that, we can go on now. Protection compliances are new. You have to educate yourself and your people. Like I told, when hygiene control is to be done and you have to do sanitization every day, you need to get equipped. You need to know how to do it. Ensure the compliance of this new practice. What is a don't? Don't leave it to the people that they will follow. I have put up a notice board. I have taken the undertaking. No, that is not going to work. You please take care. Learn practical solutions from nearby organizations, as I told you. Here, don't compromise, don't ignore. You are able to see that there is a non-compliance. You know that there is a difficulty in complying. So ignoring is not a solution. You have to get into detail, get people involved, find out some solution, and put the things in the right direction. If suppose somebody is not following the discipline, it is our job to make discipline in the company, because it is in the interest of the organization, of the people. It is not one individual. So we cannot ignore. I'll tell you a case. Many people must be aware. It is a case of 1846. One Hungarian doctor, Inas Semmelweis, he asked that time that question. You will wonder why so many people, women in maternity wards were dying. They were dying with a puerperal fever, commonly known as childbed fever. You will wonder, in those days, this fever, are you all aware of the story? Can you type why if you are aware? What was the major cause? See, I will tell you in short. This there was a research going on in those days that why so many women just immediately after the delivery, maybe in 2 days or 3 days, they were getting this fever and they were dying. And understanding was that it is because of the child. Child is bringing this fever, and that's why childbed fever. Wrong assumption, wrong misunderstanding. But they were not bothered. Like we don't. We are getting used for the casualties numbers in the corona. People got used for those numbers and the things were on. You will wonder, the things were on like this for 50 years. We are not able to bear 50 days. Those days, 50 years. Now just imagine this Hungarian doctor found out what is the root cause. And what was the root cause? The doctors were not sanitizing their hands. They were not taking care. When he proved that how sanitizing hands help, there is a drastic reduction. It was proved. You won't believe, it took another 50 years for doctors and medical staff to listen to this advice. You may be wondering what happened to this Hungarian doctor. He was moved out from the hospital. He had to die. He became mental sick because nobody was ready to listen. And he could see so many people, so many ladies dying. Such a serious matter. And the solution was simple: washing the hands. But why it took so much time? Because how it got communicated, how the invent was made. That time, the doctor thought that only chlorinated water is to be used for hand washing, and doctors did not like. He enforced this discipline, and doctor further refused. They said they felt antagonized. They said, "How can you blame us? You have no business to do this," etc., etc. After 50 years, somebody, I don't want to get into that, but people, please, I request you to go into the Google and search, and you will get the whole case study. What I mean is, a simple action of sanitizing hand can help us. It need not be a big technology. It need not be a big science to know. And so, like you are listening to this webinar, I am talking about some simple things. They look simple, but they will be very effective. Like hand sanitization was proved to be effective tool in those days for childbed fever. Same tool today we are seeing in Corona to protect ourselves. This is the only physical protection that we can make to ourselves. And so similarly, let's come out with similar simple things. Another, demand control. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? Reconfirm open orders, schedules. This, don't take it for granted. They are change. Okay, so don't overlook purpose of doing the business. Without money, nothing can be done. Revisit the demand forecast. It is not valid now. The earlier assumptions. Constantly review, because different market scenarios are going to get change. So we will have to prepare for each scenario. Be conservative in the first few months. Don't go and fly. It will put your company into trouble. Check the emerging trend and then accordingly act. Don'ts are very simple. Don't assume original things, original schedule, original forecast. They are not valid. Don't push. Right now, it is not an action of pushing. It is going to be, dangerous. So get right things every time, revalidate, and then move forward. Supply chain control. Quickly tune with the new demand, new forecast, new schedules, and accordingly cancel, hold your open POs on your suppliers. Otherwise, they will dump the material and they will get stuck with the material and the money. Receive the import content, review the import content, assess the supply risk, and find alternatives. You know from where to bring what. You know now the duty structure. So you may have to work on those things. Consume what is available in the company. Use slow moving and non-moving first. I know the case. This is one of my client. They have reviewed during the this lockdown. They took permission to put 3 people, one from design, one from production, one from stores. They and also the procurement man, and they reviewed all costly non-moving and slow-moving instruments. It was worth crore of almost 2 or 3 crores of inventory. All those got reviewed, and people have come out with different solutions, different arrangements, and suggested to use almost more than a crore existing instruments into the new orders. So we have to make use of that. People are having time now to do these things. This normally in the regular show, we cannot focus on this. So get into acts like this, which will help in long term for the company. Don't allow unnecessary material to getting pushed by the vendors because they have ready. Increase visibility to your supplier's inventory. Don't follow the original safety stock level. Mostly those people who are using MRP, ERP. So don't follow, because safety stock levels, reorder stock levels, lead time, all this data was fed in with certain assumptions of those situations. Today, it is all changed. Today, they are not valid. So be careful when you are using the system. You are taking care of the current demand and then act on. Don't only depend on supply from China. You can get badly impacted. Production control. We can Similarly, follow some do's and don'ts. For example, in production control, on the shop floor, lot of WIP which is lying, don't start working on that WIP, assuming that we were having this confirm order. Recheck whether that order is still valid. People are going to lift that material. They are going to pay for it. Don't depend only on vendors. Certain items which you are getting subcontracted, possibly the vendor is not able to start. He is not able to resume the job. So you may have to help. You may have to find out whether we can do it inside or we can shift the mold to somebody else and get the job done. Be vigilant. Don't worry about capacity utilization. Worry more on the real customer demand. How can I quickly do it? You will have to involve people to do improve the productivity. In the production, there are a lot of changes which are going to happen. Earlier, you might have designed your flow by having 9 workstations. Now you may have only 4 people. So you may bring the workstations together, you may combine operations, and so accordingly you might have to do a lot of changes. Daily morning meeting, you have to review the structure of that daily morning meeting and improve the effectiveness. Quality control, training and work permit system may be necessary. Inbuilt process capability has to be focused now more, because we don't want to depend on the people. We may not get our regular people to do the job. We will have lots of new things coming in, because when the market is down, salespeople are going to look for any order and anything. So when they will look for new opportunities, they will bring new product. We'll have to design new processes for that. So we will have to quickly get ready. We have no time to make mistake and learn. So we will have to use FMEA, FTA, RCA tools and get geared up to make right first time. Same way we have don'ts. Don't assume same quality response from customer and vendors. Don't assume self-certification. Earlier what we had designed, operators might have got changed either in your plant, also at the vendor's end. Don't refer to the past references. Understand changes from the customer. Regular mass communication has to be put in. You have to lead with respect, empathy. Because people are your assets. They are going to help you in this situation. They have to be with you for coming out of this situation. You have to learn how to manage with 30 and 40% of the workforce. You have to identify which multi-skilling is to be done, skill grade upgradation is to be done. Don't expect migrant workers coming back soon. Don't force everyone to attend the office. Don't undermine the power of engaged workforce. Encourage Kaizen drive, small group activities, get them involved more, get them engaged more. You will wonder what new thing comes out from them. Flow control. 3 do's. Closely track the flow of material from one workstation to another workstation, end to end. Just because here there is a material and here there is an operator and a process produced. No, it has to move end to end. Involve the workforce for finding out the solution. I know you have a constraint, and so share the constraint with the people and involve them, and you will wonder what ideas comes out from the people to make the end to end. They also understand the problem. Quickly work out on-time delivery. Now, this is one KPI which you have to quickly get into place. You take the reference of the revised schedule. When you are giving the revised commitment as expected by the customer, please start monitoring. The moment you start monitoring, you will get an idea all the actions what you have put, whether they are sufficient or not. If they are not sufficient, where are you failing? What needs to be done? Don't assume constraining process. Now, earlier we had some knowledge that this is our bottleneck, here is a capacity constraint, or here is the area where we have monitored. rejection, etc. Now, these constraining processes are going to change. Possibly every day you will get a surprise, and it is shifting from place to place because you have a less manpower. You are shifting the manpower from place to place, and so you have to be very careful. Don't assume. Don't depend on emails, okay? Because within the company, start having cross-functional team, quick corner meeting, and quickly resolve the situation. Don't react. This is not a situation where you are expected to react. What is expected is respond. What is the meaning? Responding means being a part of solution, and reacting means being a part of problem. So what do you want? Respond. So be a part of solutions, come out with alternatives, get people involved, and see that the whole flow is taking place. So what we have understood is the whole business or factory working moves around with these 7 factors. I have shown the hygiene factor at the center, but around hygiene factor, you have demand control, supply chain, production control, quality control, and people control. And this must move hand in hand. Then only the cash will get generated, it will get properly distributed, and the wheel will be running. And so if you want to get geared up, this running is important. We have to focus on these 7 factors. So coming back to the first slide, we said we will learn 3 mantras. 1, don't press panic button. Don't press panic button for yourself, and also don't press panic button for your suppliers. Help them get help. Fill up the information checklist. We have seen what is the checklist, what type of information required, what type of questions that we need to handle. And we have also seen what type of make and what to make for 3 do's and 3 don'ts. These 3 do's and 3 don'ts checklist for those 7 factors will help you to communicate rightfully to all the people so that you are prepared in the right direction. Everybody is fine. So I'm coming to the concluding part. But before that, I just want to remind, if you have some questions, please put up those questions into the question answer box so that Mr. Piyush will be helping me in getting those questions. So we go to the important part, last 2 slides. The situation itself is not very complex. It can turn to complex if we compromise our preparation. I'm sure this type of preparation, what we discussed in the last 40 minutes, will help you not only in this situation, but any time thereafter. Remember my last word, behind every dark cloud, sun is still shining. Be safe, protect everyone, and prosper together. Thank you for joining us. We are at your service. You can contact me. You can contact our office. We will be at your service anytime. Thank you. Once again, over to Piyush for question answer session.
Thank you very much, Gandhi sir, for this thought-provoking session. We have several questions coming in from every participant.
Okay.
Let me start with the first question, which Mr. Raju Shivale has raised. He's asking whether any standard checklist can be made available.
This particular PPT can be shared, number 1. I will share with him personally in case he is needing. the checklists which are published by Mahindra and Mahindra, those for the hygiene control, what arrangements are to be done. They have done a very good visual, so that even though it is there, for the make useful for the company, but he can also contact and we can also request them to share that.
Okay, thank you so much. So it is going to be shared with everybody. Now we have one more interesting question from Mr. Rohit Gandhi. He's asking, what do you think of capital goods business? Any special advice for capital goods business?
See, it is going to be, in my opinion, slow, but definitely, surely will get picked up. That is why this vigilant trend for the demand needs to be done. You cannot go by the forecast. You cannot go and do your investment plan, expansion plan for capital goods because we had made some targets depending upon earlier forecast. Be vigilant. What is the demand coming? And surely this type of preparation will help in those industries also.
Absolutely, sir. This is going to be a very dynamic situation, so we have to be on our toes. Now, here's a question from Mr. Salim Khan. He says, this is a very great presentation. His question is, how to ensure that we don't roll back on these after some days?
Salim, thank you for coming. See, yeah, we have that habit, but in my opinion, business means if we are serious in the business and if you are really taking it in a right perspective, I am very hopeful that new discipline, new way of working, new opportunities will get created for companies, those who are going to be serious about it. If they also leave, if they also give up, then we can go back to normal again.
Right. Thank you, sir. Here is Mr. Waghela, Mr. Pankaj Waghela. He appreciates the presentation. His question is like, he's not into manufacturing, but he's into trading and engages in distribution and supply chain after sales service probably. So he wants some suggestion for this kind of business model.
See, when we say CPOC, don't get the literal meaning of that CPOC. We have customers everywhere. Without customers, there's no business. Okay, there are inputs and there is an output. There is a different mechanism. You may not have plant and machinery, but you have some mechanism to communicate. Your channels are going to be very important. How those are getting impacted? What are the changes? Same procedure, same question. Okay, the elements are going to change in that type of. What are the elements which are applicable there? And if you are able to list down the proper elements with the same questions, we can answer. And this will be useful. Hello? Yeah? Thanks, Abuli. Hello? Yeah, Chevale. Good. I must congratulate you.
Yes, yes. So there is one more question from Mr. Sini Navasaran. He says, since we covered the topic of supply chain also, he says, do we have any advice for companies like who are totally into sourcing?
Who are into?
Sourcing of goods.
Of course,
and distribution. Yes.
I tell you the most challenging part today, the sourcing, because at this time, in most of the industries, material cost drives the organization. And at this point of time, it's not only the cost, but also the smooth delivery. And so assessing rightfully and properly going ahead with the right vendors, right countries is going to help. So you have to be very vigilant if you are in the sourcing. In my opinion, as a personally, I feel that's going to be the most affected part.
Right, right. With all the logistics suppliers stranded on the road, it is going to be a very tough situation, sir. Thank you very much. There is one last question from Dhruv Agarwal. He says, we had some export commitments. We started every day working for some time. Now he is scaling back to working 3 days a week. Is this something one should avoid, like working for 3 to 4 days in a week?
Mr. Dhruva, yes, maybe this checklist, you have to reflect whether the checklist would have helped you if proper use of the checklist in time, if it would have got prepared. I'm aware, and in the current scenario, it is not too late for you to prepare. It can be worked upon. I we will check whether the 3 days in a week or alternate day what you have proposed, whether that works. What is the right thing? Okay.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now there is one anonymous attendee who has a very particular question. He says the costs of starting a factory will be greater than the profits only in the next 2 months. Obviously, customers. Right. So if that is so, then how do we get about managing revenues? Because getting paid from the customers after supplies, that would be creating a huge gap in the cash flow. So how to manage that? How to manage revenue, sir?
See, there are two things. As I gave the example of sanitization. If you really depend upon the normal standard solution of getting a service from service provider, you will end up with the paying a heavy cost. But do we really need to do that? So we'll have to find out smart solutions. We cannot take it for granted that the cost is going to go up and the customer will bear. Customer may not, but rightful increase in the cost, customer also will consider. So please understand, this is the time of coming up with smart solutions, innovations. It is very important. And those who are able to get geared up on this smart working, they will come out successfully. They will be flying because demands are not going to go and vanish. They are going to get fulfilled, but the competent people will stand. And if you are not careful, yes, you are going to get washed out. So we have to be very, very careful this situation.
Right, thank you, sir. There is one more question related to labor availability, and since he says maximum migrant labor have gone, so most of them are already reaching their homes, but for the new staff, it is going to be a task teaching them hygiene, how to maintain hygiene, how to make them comply to the norms, new ways of working. So how should we work on this? How to enforce it, or how to get that done?
See, yeah, there's a challenge. Migrant labor issue is one, and second, how do we manage the hygiene? I was very seriously giving a thought to this hygiene. See, this is not a time when we expect everything given by the company, everything arranged in the offices by somebody, some agency coming and managing. No, this is like, what we did in the house. In the house, everybody, when maids are not there, everybody has learned how to manage the house, how to maintain the hygiene, how do we clean our houses. We have learned, we have participated, we have done. Everybody has done. So this is the lesson we have to extend to our works. If it is essential to go to the factory, then do this. If it is not essential, we can do from home. Please keep people at home and ask them to reduce your expenses. This is a smart activity. I have heard one case last week. In one company, there was a factory which was planned for starting, and factory started working with some, 60, 70 people. And there were certain questions of, material, stores, design. So they complained, and then they asked MD to intervene and get everybody on the job, everybody to the factory. Why? Because we are also coming and we need their help, so we cannot work without them. So let everybody come to the factory. Why we only take the risk? Let them. Now, this is not a situation to react like this. As I told you, we have to respond. What it means is, if you need any help, I am available. That is more important than everybody getting into the office. Then definitely the costs are going to go up. Are you getting? So these are the I described as a discretionary decisions thoughtfully taken will help to cut down the cost.
Right. Thank you, sir. It's 12:15 now. I have two questions I can read. We cannot take much questions, but two questions, important questions I can see. We covered the topic of demand control. There is one question coming since our sales personnel are restricted to visit customers due to new norms, so how do we utilize them in a productive manner, like utilizing the sales team? That is the first question.
See, as we discuss about the demand control, there are a lot of things which they need to work upon. They may not travel, but that doesn't mean that they cannot contribute. They have a lot job to do. Get in touch with the customers. If they can have still some control, they can help in sourcing right material. They can help in getting communication. They have lots of skills of communication. They can be utilized for internal communication. Many ways, innovative ways can come from there.
Absolutely.
So you Nikita, welcome Nikita Kulkarni. Yeah.
Yes, so definitely, sir. As you also mentioned in your presentation, we can involve these people. I'm going to combine the next question since I have 2-3 questions centered around the same topic. The first thing is getting skilled people, and if at all we get skilled people, how do we keep them motivated? It connects to the previous question, like how do we enforce those new ways of working or guidelines? So how do we motivate people and how do we get skilled people? That's the question.
This is the time where everybody understands. All employees are also understanding. The leaders have to take care that they show the empathy. This is the time when people will need their care. If they understand that you are caring, they will go out of way and help you. Everybody wants motivation because everybody wants to work. Question is, people are worried about the safety, protection. And if we show that we are concerned, and if we mean by what we say, and then work on towards that, involve them, ask their advice, get their participation in decision making, this will motivate people. This is not the time people are looking for money. We misunderstand. So even if in one of the company, this question was there, sir, can we give 50% salary? Oh, give, but give, but communicate. Don't pay only through the bank and keep quiet, assuming that they will understand. Why will they understand? But if you communicate properly, they will understand, they will cooperate. So people can be motivated by the leaders if they make themselves, available to them, interact with them, two-way communication. It will help.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your insights and for presenting this whole thing.
I must thank all the people. So many questions I never expected. Thank you for all those who had questions.
Right. So
made my day. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So
thank you,
lastly,
sir.
Yes.
I'm delighted to see you, sir.
Here is Mr. Dange from Nishikant Dange sir, also from KK Nag. He's also saying thank you to Vedzin team, to Gandhi sir. And one question most of people have asked is, can we have this presentation? Yes, you will get this presentation. We will also send you this recording of this session in another 24 hours. We'll get a mail. You will get to download this thing also. And the chat, the questions that we have answered will also be available as a document for you to download and read through, so that everything is covered. Now, if you have anything else to ask, or to if you want us to help you, please write to us. Write to info@vedzin.com. We will send you a mail, and you will have all the information to come back to us. We're at your service, like Gandhi sir said. Thank you very much. Piyush signing out here. Gandhi sir, let's sign out and close this session, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.